They essentially took two existing cards in the game and combined them into one card. And it's kind of perfect considering the lore of the character. But the question is, do we need the combined powers of these two cards in one? Well, we'll explore that in a bit. But first, who is Nocturne? So, the main Marvel timeline is known as Earth 616, right? Well, Nocturne comes from an alternate reality, which is set about 20 years ahead of Earth 616, when Nightcrawler is the field leader of the X-Men and Wolverine is the mentor instead of Professor X. In this reality, Nightcrawler and Scarlet Witch sired a daughter, Talia Josephine Wagner, aka Nocturne. She inherited her dad's physical traits and also has the power to possess others for up to 12 hours, as well as throw hex bolts at her enemies. Nocturne is ultimately recruited to the time-hopping, reality-fixing group known as the Exiles. She spent some time in Earth 616 and joined New Excalibur, but eventually returned to the Exiles, even leading the team for a while Blink was off recruiting new members. In Marvel Snap, Nocturne is a 3-energy, 5-power card with the ability you can move this once. When this moves, replace its location with a random new one. In terms of the lore of the character, this is kind of perfect because Nocturne, the daughter of Nightcrawler and Scarlet Witch, is literally her parents' cards combined into one card. The energy, power, and abilities. So the question is then, do we really need Nightcrawler and Scarlet Witch in one card? Okay, location changing cards are very powerful in terms of cube gain, right? Because you can really swing a game on the final turns, especially against decks that use Magic's Limbo to force turn 7. Classic example of that is Legion, who has dropped in popularity, but remember when She-Not was everywhere, Legion was a cube-stealing legend. Now, players would think that they had an extra turn to set up after playing Magic, and then on turn 6 you play Legion, you're like, nope, game ends now! So, technically, Scarlet Witch should be played more, right? That's not the case at all. She rarely sees play, and a lot of that is due to the random nature of the changed location. With Legion, you have an amount of control. You can choose from the 3 locations already in play. With Scarlet Witch though, she could win you the game as much as she could lose you the game with a detrimental location. Also with Nocturne, you have to play her down first and then move her to change the location. So your opponent's gonna know that that's coming, right? It takes away the surprise element. It's the same as going up against a Thanos deck or someone who plays Snow Guard, right? You should expect a Reality Stone or a Snow Guard Hawk if you are relying on that Magic Limbo turn 7 play. Stats wise, she's pretty standard as a 3/5 with a beneficial ability, just like these cards here. So okay, let's break down the 2 separate abilities, right? The move ability will work well in the Angela Elsa package. In the move deck, she could be changing multiple locations and buffing Kraven, discounting Miles Morales. Heck, she could find a home in Surfer decks or Cerebro 5 decks that want a little bit of that location correction tech. Oh, and she could come in clutch against locations that lock you out. A flooded location, Sanctum, Death's Domain. You could send her in there on turn 4 and then play your cards there on turn 5. Now, Nocturne comes to the Spotlight caches with 2 other Series 5 cards, so you got value there. But do you need these other cards? Well, if you really want Kyera, who's great for protecting your 1 cost and 6 costs, sure. And the other card is Selene, who unfortunately doesn't see much play, even in her own toxic junk archetype. Honestly, seems like a week to save your keys and tokens, because I think she'll suffer from the same problem Scarlet Witch has, which is the randomness of her location-changing ability, right? And she'll feel very cuttable in a lot of cases. But hey, you gotta appreciate the law-appropriate design of a card, right? I mean,